Hey, how's it going? It's Lawrence from the Performance Ranch. I'm just coming to you from my house, going to give you a little insight of what I do at home for my morning routine. It's something I've been trying to teach the majority of our clients at the facility. I'm just going to film this so A, you can have it, but B, you can just see how easy this is. It takes, 10, 15 minutes. Just depends on how long you want to spend on the foam roller. I do a version of this at night, but at night I do spend a little more time on South myofascial release, which is foam rolling, lacrosse ball, and other types of implements like that. So without further ado, let's start right now. We're gonna get you into the thoracic spine. So that's the very first one I go with. Just kind of get in the middle of the back. Just gonna find that spot, roll up and down. Again, long night of sleep. You might have slept a little off. So, let's allow that thing to set in and just loosen your spine up. Want to always keep those abs engaged. You don't want to arch the low back on it. Keep the abs in and just roll nice and slow. Look for those spots. I actually like to get into a position where I can feel some tension. I'll breathe, open the rib cage up, and try to bring the rib cage down. So I'm trying to really get deep diaphragmatic breathing. So right now the joints on the spine are trying to move as that rib cage opens up. So it may feel a little restricted, which is okay. I like to put a little bit of flexion in my neck and I'll give myself a little tug. Typically I get a nice release, nice pop in there. Again, I don't go too low, maybe as low as T12. That's right before that curvature of your lumbar spine. You don't want to go too deep in there in the lumbar because you don't want to cause any hyperextension. And now I'm going to take it up into the shoulders, give myself a big hug, and I'm going to get right inside the scapula now. Up high, the base of the neck. And from there, I'm going to get right into the lat, that arm straight. Again, palm is up. This lat can internally rotate, so you want to get into external rotation and a little bit of extension at the shoulder. Again, I'm keeping those abs engaged so everything stays tight. Rolling forward, rolling back, looking for the spots that are tender. Again, we're not going to spend too long on foam rolling in the morning, but it's just enough to wake up the body, get a little bit of blood flowing, get your body loose, get you ready for the movement. Same thing on the other side, arms straight. Again, I'm getting into external rotation of that arm and extension in the shoulder. Again, right at the lat, base of the armpit, back and forth. I like to roll. Again, once you find a spot that you know is a hot one, stay on that spot. And I'm trying to search. Whew, there it is. Again, once you do find a spot and you know you've pinned it down, you can start to take that arm through some movement. Across your body, back across. Ooh. And that lat obviously attaches through the arm, but it comes all the way down to the base of the hip. So to keep going down, now we're gonna get into the QL, which is right below the rib cage, but above your hips. So it's a little bit of, again, just looking around for those spots. Again, you are getting a little bit of lat via the thoracolumbar fascia that's back there. Again, I'm actually just pinning myself up on my arm, rolling back and forth, looking for the tender spots. And then I'm gonna proceed over to the other side, same exact thing. Back and forth, looking for that spot. Again, not spending too long on this. I don't want to have the time eaten up on just this. Then we're going to get into the outer hip, that piriformis. Again, just searching around. If you find a spot that really is tender, stop and hold it on that spot. You want to breathe through it, let it relax. I do this every day, so those hot spots aren't there as much as they used to be. But that just goes to show you, if you stay on this, consistency wins. If you stay doing this, especially, you know, daily, is my recommendation. Good. So now I'm gonna take that right into the hamstring. So I'm gonna start right above the knee. Hamstring, a little bit of lateral, or sorry, the posterior IT band, kind of where that stuff all intermixes back there. Going nice and slow. Maybe you see my foot's angled out a little bit. So I'm just hitting the outside, kind of an oblique angle to that posterior side of my leg. For me, these are tender. I do have some tenderness back here. So I like to find that spot that really is the big one, the big hot spot. Settle into it. You can even do some contract, relax techniques. So I'm gonna contract my leg, flex it hard, especially if it's a very tight spot. And then I'm gonna relax and breathe. And that seems to do the trick right there, loosening a lot of stuff up. Feel things just let go. I'm gonna switch over to this side, same exact thing. Again, searching for the spot that hurts the most. Make note also of which side is a little more painful than the other. Typically my right side is a little bit more. Yeah, the left isn't that bad. Actually right above the knee, I can kind of feel that. You also don't want to go over a joint, all right? So make sure you're staying right above the joint. You see how my knee bends, I'm right above it, I'm not on it. I'm getting into that stuff and I'm gonna flex it hard. And I'm gonna take a deep breath and relax. Good. Now, the thing about breathing too, a lot of times when I do this, I actually do this and I meditate at the same time. So obviously today I'm showing you how to do this at home. I'm gonna talk you through it. Now I'm gonna get into the quad. So go face down, get right above that knee. So I'm gonna attack it straight ahead. Typically now that I've really worked on these, I don't really get that many hot spots there, but where I do get it is that oblique angle of the quad. So basically IT band, quad, where all that stuff intermixes. Take it up into the piriformis, into the TFL, a little up high, then into that intersection of your hip flexors, psoas, TFL, all that stuff, right below the ball of your femur, that greater trochanter, what it's called, correct terms. All right, one more time on the other side. You can see it's pretty easy. I don't spend too much time on these, but I do like to get it done every day. Now this side, a little more hot than the other. Woo. So you can see how posterior right leg and to your left leg. It makes sense. I do have a shift into my hips that I've been working on for years. It is definitely significantly better, but a lot of that's related to my ankle. And we'll go into some ankle mobility in a little bit and show you how we'll do that. All right, so I got through those spots. I'm gonna finish up with one more thing to help me increase ankle mobility. Get right into the calves here. So same thing, just looking out for spots. I'm relaxing my right foot. It's the number one thing always when you're foam rolling, is try to relax the muscle you're on. Unless you're doing contract relax, then of course you're gonna contract for a few seconds and relax. Again, I'm searching out, looking for those spots. You can see I'm rotating back and forth. Once you do find a hot spot right there, then you can start to actually add some movement. You can contract, relax. Several different techniques you can do with foam rolling. You can roll into that other calf. I do feel a little more on the left than I do on the right. So, ooh, I may spend a little extra time in this area. Again, make note. So when you come back to it later on in the day or tonight, again, I like to spend more time foam rolling at night than I do in the morning, but I still do it both sessions. Whew. I'm gonna try that relax, contract technique. There it goes, let go. All right, so we're gonna get into a little movement flow now. The way we do the flow, we just kind of take it out. I have it on the list if you check out our Instagram post, but what I wanna do is put it all into one continuum versus each one by itself. I'm gonna show you all the movements separately. Then once we go through them all, we'll put it into a little flow. So the first thing is just a child's pose. So I like to get my feet, my toes unhooked, so feet are flat. I'm gonna get my feet a little closer together, but my knees pushed out, and I'm gonna drop my hips back. I'm trying to get inside of my hips there. I'm gonna reach my arms out in front of me. So just child's pose, holding it for a couple seconds here, and I like to come up. I'm gonna swing this leg over. I'm gonna hook under. I'm gonna get a little lat stretch of this. So notice my foot is hooked behind my knee. I'm gonna drop my hips towards my right side, towards the foot that's hooked. I'm gonna take my arm across to the left side. So now I'm creating big stretch from the hips all the way to my fingertips in that lat. Same thing, switch it up, reach. And then we're gonna take this right into a downward dog. So we're gonna unhook those toes, get them under you, push those hips back, make sure the spine stays straight. Now I'm gonna come forward, drop down into that cobra. Reach up, back down, all the way up, back to the knees. I'm gonna bring this leg out in front of me. So get a little groin stretch. We call this the Spider-Man stretch. The knee down. Then you wanna add a little extra, get the knee off the ground, add a little rotation. Big thing here, I'm also making sure my feet stay flat on the ground. Not letting my foot curl out yet. All right, big one. Arm straight. Turn to rotate. Good. So now we're gonna put it into a little flow. So the way I like to do the flow, start off with child's pose. Little lat. Again, each one I only hold for about 5 seconds. So not only am I getting lat, I'm also getting a little bit of hip and glute. And then from here, right to the downward dog. And then I'm gonna keep my knees off the ground. I'm gonna go right into outer hip stretch, sorry, groin stretch, Spider-Man. Trying to reach, back down. Back to down dog. Back up to this side. Down dog. Little cobra. Again, feel free to mix and match how you do these, whatever you like. All right, so quick little series on mobility. So we pretty much addressed everything. We addressed the lats, we addressed the low back, address your hamstrings, address your calves, even address the groin a little bit. So try to get all those movements in one. It's perfect. It's an easy little flow there. All right, so next thing we're gonna go to as far as mobility goes, I'm going to a little thoracic extension here. So I like to do, they call these prisoners. I just do it for my knees. Get the pelvis to tuck under. So again, neutral spine, posture's tall, hands behind the head, open those elbows up. And now all I'm gonna do is push my hands away from my head. Then I'm gonna take my arms all the way out. Then I'm gonna tuck them in behind me, palms facing out. Again, Again, making sure you're staying controlled from that core, keeping that posture. So you notice I end up in retraction the whole time as I do this. I'll show you from the front view so you can see arms out, back, push those hands away, keep those arms out, and I'm taking and rotating those shoulders. Again, it's about 5 reps there. It's perfect. Go into a little ankle dorsiflexion. So actually, you'll adjust this camera, you can actually see a little better. All right, so we're gonna go into a little ankle dorsiflexion now. So big thing is I'm trying to keep my heel down the ground. I'm gonna weight my knee with my hands. I'm gonna push my knee forward, but I'm not gonna let my heel come up. I'm holding that, again, but as I do this, I'm also making sure I keep an arch intact. It's very easy to let that arch flatten out and let that knee go forward. Notice I get a lot more range, but now everything's not straight. Big thing you wanna do is make sure your heel stays down. As you do this movement, you're gonna drive that knee straight forward. Don't let the arch collapse. It's the #1 thing you're looking out for is that arch. Drop it back. Again, my pelvis is still staying tucked. I'm not getting into my low back at all. Just trying to work on ankle mobility. You can even support the heel with your hand, push the knee forward. Good. Just a couple reps of that. I'm gonna switch sides. Straight from the outside again, controlling that arch, spreading my toes, heel down. Just back and forth. So last thing we're gonna end up with is standing foot rotation. So I'm gonna do the standing up. The focus will be on my feet. You're not gonna see my head, but that's okay. You're gonna stand up. Make sure those feet pointing straight ahead, creating that arch. You can do a couple things here. So first, I like just to kind of get my feet to get nice and strong to the ground, keeping that arch in place. But now I'm gonna actually lean over to my right side. I'm gonna get into a knife edge on my left side. And I'm gonna roll all the way across and get that heel to drive out. Again, back over, other side, same thing. So, I'm gonna roll the foot in, get on top of the big toe, stretch it out, push that heel to the outside. We'll do that a few times. Some quick and simple foot mobility techniques. Maybe about 5 on each side. And then one final thing to do on the feet. This is gonna be hard for a lot of people, but what I want you to do is work on creating that tension through your feet, creating that arch. I like to put my hands on my hips because the hands and the fingers will do some funky stuff. You're gonna see what I mean. So spread your toes out for one, get them off the ground, spread the toes out, put them down on the ground. And now we're gonna work on just lift all toes up, spread and down. All toes up, spread and down. Toes up, spread, and down. Now we're gonna keep little toes down, lift just your big toe. You're gonna feel your fingers wanna do some funky stuff. Just control that foot. When you start seeing veins popping out on your feet, that's a good thing. That means blood is starting to flow down to your foot. Now we're gonna keep the big toe down, lift just the small toes. Daily mobility series that I recommend attempting and doing every day. 10, 15 minutes of your life your body will appreciate it very much. As you try to call upon that body to do the activities you want it to do. Again, we're not getting any younger. I tell my clients this all the time. I'm 41 years old now and I like to be active. And the only way I can be active is if I'm doing this stuff every day. Because when I don't do it, my body don't want to play at all and I have to sit out. So stay at it, just keep working. Consistency is your best friend. All right, if you have any other questions or comments for us, please comment below. If you want to subscribe to our channel at all, just click up here. If you want to see some other videos, I'm going to put some mountain biking videos in here, things to help with your hinge. Click right up here. All right, thank you very much. We'll see you soon.